Peace all, Rarikama I here of Rarikaba Mystics, and we're here today to do the monthly for the 11th month, which is November. And yes, we are in the 11th month, and the 11th energy is very powerful. Okay, it's very much a gateway opener to our intuitive, psychic, telepathic, clairvoyance, clear audience, clear sentience, clear, all the clearest energy. Like to really tune into our spirit nature, our soulful selves, and it also talks about balance and truth and water too, because the 11th energy is the higher vibration of the two, and the two is ruled by the moon, and the moon also has connotations with intuition and feminine energy, spirit energy, the unseen, the occult. And so the higher vibration of that is all of that, but on a higher plane. So it's like being your spirit self to your soul self. So this month helps us really integrate that, understanding that spirit energy is very much alive. And we're in the season of, we're right now in Libra season, of course. And we're also in a season of the, what I like to call the yin time realm, where everything spirit nature is more to the forefront somehow, is more felt, is more seen, is more understood or understood. So yes, the 11th energy again is all about our intuitive guidance, the unseen, the intangible guidance that we have. And well, everything is, what we get comes from the unseen, the intangible. And so our highest guides. And we also have low guides or lower guides and non-conducive guides or non-conducive energies that could also guide us. So we have to be mindful of where we step, where we move, how we move, with whom we move, you know, because these energies can intercept, as we say. And that's what we always talk about here at Rakaba Mystics, that we look to our highest guidance always. It's the best way. It's the better way. All right. So yes, and of course, those our highest guides is always going to propel us towards our destiny, and our destinies are to fulfill certain relationships, to learn from certain relationships, and yeah, that makes part of the joy, part of the ride. The communion with others, and that 11 vibration is also about communions and coming together, right? So yeah, with following our intuitive guidance, we get our highest intuitive guidance. We get to our most desirable relationships, and sometimes even the ones that don't feel desirable at the time is what we need to help us grow and to move on to the next relationship. All four of them we have to go through, and there is a point where we might want to stay, but we have to keep moving. And listening to intuitive guidance, you will always know. That's why it's interesting that intuition is synonymous to relationships, because we, in this world, there's so many of us on different levels, on different paths, and we could really mingle with so many different people, but they're not all destined for us, not always destined for our greatest good or the right lessons that we need, you know? And that's where, destiny and fate comes into play. It's funny I keep talking about destiny, but that comes as part of the cards that we have for the spread later. Yeah, I'm holding my breath a bit. I don't know what's up with that. I've done a few recordings today and they're all coming out like, wow. So let's look at the calendar. So the first day of this month begins on a Jupiter day. Okay, that purple octave, expanding your mind, being generous, being lucky. And the numerological energy, the overall influence is that of a 5. And 5 is all about changes and being adventurous. Is Jupiter ruled as well, number 5. And it's all about breaking paradigms, moving away from status quo, not allowing constraints to shape you. Okay. And on this day, we had the moon in Leo, which was all about going with our souls, knowing and moving from your heart, right? And it was conjuncting Mars, which is in Capricorn. And Mars being in Capricorn for some time now is like a real steadfast move. It's like instead of just being rash about what you feel and what you know is of your knowing, you're looking at it pragmatically, looking at it in a succinct way, and in a responsible manner. Okay. And we also have the moon squaring Jupiter in Libra also, which is looking at us almost, because it's a square, it's looking at us almost like check in where we feel there have been injustices in our relations. It's a need to check that. Where we have been unfair in our relationships. Okay, and we also have a sextile with the moon, which is in Leo, with with Venus, which is retrograde in Virgo. And it's like, again, it's that wanting to be practical and really check in, our souls, knowing our soul's truth, what our heart desires most. It's that checking and balances, because Venus being in Virgo is all about that, really us being practical about the things that we love, the things that we cherish, the things that we find pleasurable, the things that we want to grow. How practical is it? How much is it really going to serve it? Is it really going to serve me? And the sextile with the moon there in Leo is really us checking our feelings towards what we feel is our best and highest good. Is it truly what we know it to be, or is it just a feeling? No, but feelings ain't shit, because I believe in feelings, but only when they're aligned, because the will is the ego, which most people don't check for. But it's only seen as the ego and given horns and denoted and stuff when it's misaligned and it acts out of the highest good of the person. And we all have varying ways of looking at it, because we all have individual parts to play, and what's good for one may not be good for another, but it's what works for them. And then we have the moon also trining Chiron. It's all about us checking ourselves, and because we're coming into Libra, is at this point with on the 1st until the 4th, I say until the 3rd, we're still in, the soul is still in Virgo, the last degrees of Virgo. Again, it's all about that checks and balances, and what we are healing as well. What is it that we need healing in regards to our relationships and our souls knowing? What have we been like negating or neglecting that our soul is urging? Okay, and on the 2nd, and again, sorry, back to that first day, because I like to look at the first and the last days and how we enter and leave them up. And it's on a 5 energy as well, so it's all about changes, making changes in how we see our soul's truth, how we present ourselves through our soul's truth. I'm feeling this is like a message for a lot of us that feel certain things every day, but because it doesn't go with the status quo, it doesn't go with, it's not keeping up with the Joneses kind of thing, then we push it down. We like, nah, that's not for me, when truly it's calling on you all the time. that needs healing, that needs seen to, because healing is not even a word I want to be using nowadays, because healing is a process. It's supposed to be mending. Okay, so we can patch that shit up and know that it's going to be cured and done. And I have to keep looking over and keep going and going and going every 6 months, going to the doctor. That is the allopathic versus the naturopathic kind of way. But there's a place, a time and a place for it. So there is a time where we need to heal as a process. But now we're coming into new times. It's about mending. Same way there was a time when we needed allopathic. There will be a time, there can really be a time for when you might need the allopathic route. But we're coming back into the ways of understanding that we heal ourselves, we can heal ourselves. So let's work that magic. Moving along, on the 2nd of November, we have Luna, which is the moon, conjuncting a star Regulus, or Regulo. And this is in Leo. And why I made a point of this is because we're on the 2nd, we also have, that's the 2nd day of the month, right? And on the last day, or second to last day, yes, again, on the second to last day, we have the same conjunction. So I'd charge you to check what was going on for you on the 2nd of November. Excuse me. And then after the 29th, check it then as well. See how it goes. Before I move along as well, the 1st of the month was on a Thursday, a Jupiter wave, and it was a 5 energy. And then we leave the month on a 7 vibration, and it's a Friday. Okay. And on that same Friday, we have Venus, as it's normally called the morning star. It's so bright in the morning, and yeah, you'll be able to view Venus very brightly in the morning on the 25th, which is a Venus day as well, at sunrise. And it being a 7 vibration, it's all about us reflecting. I think we need to reflect on what we would have picked up on intuitively this month. Okay, so we have a conjunction with Deneb Algadi, which is a star in Capricorn, and it's at the tail. And this is this conjunction will be with Mars, because Mars is actually coming out of Capricorn very shortly, and I just been feeling this energy of Mars just being like, oh my God, how much longer do I have to be so slow? And Capricorn and that Saturnian energy is just like, just take it easy. We have to be methodical about this. It's about slow and steady wins the race, okay? Steadfastness. And I think this is good energy for Mars to go through. It's like obviously sometimes our harder lessons can I still find it hard to say this, can shape and mold us, because I don't want to have to go through hard stuff all the time, but it's true. Sometimes they just imprint a little bit deeper, so you really do get it. But I want to also learn from the niceness, from the petal kisses, rather than the slaps. You know what I mean? By the universe. So yeah, so Mars is at its last degree, so he would have learned a lot now about being steadfast instead of just being fast about things. And we have this conjunction by this bright star on the 4th and the 5th. And then on the 5th of November, we also have the Taurus meteor shower. And this meteor shower is around the constellation of Taurus, and it's got a lot of energies like surrounding it. And I really feel like it's about us, if we're going to make a wish in it, on anchoring our beauty and not being stubborn in stagnation, but also again doing the polarity work and making those sudden moves if necessary, whether it be sudden or just make sure the moves are made. Because I was thinking about Uranus, and that's all about sudden movements. And make sure that you make the moves that you need to push, to pull you away, to propel you even, or forward, on and upwards, leveling up again with balance. Taurus being neighboring to Gemini. For love, for greatest love, the 11 vibration, the two pillars. Intuitively guided to the destined relations. And Venus ruled as well. It's always going to be about love. I would say also on this 6, we have Mercury at its greatest eastern elongation. So you see Mercury at sunset as well. On the west side was as the sun sets to the east. Okay. And on the same 6th day we have, which is also a 10 vibrating day. So again, it's all about the yin and yang polarity, I say polarity, but the complementary. When you utilize both your yin and your yang side, you really work magic. We also have Luna in Virgo conjuncting Venus, retrograding in Virgo. So all those feelings that we've been having about being practical, about the love, and checking really what it is that we do love, is going to be coming up in the feelings and the 4th, right? And then we have the new moon on the 7th in Libra, which is speaking to me about us making the changes that we need for our greatest relationships. Okay, and not just being thinking about it, but actually making movements towards it, you know? And definitely breaking some of those molds of yesteryear, whether how you saw your parents grow up, how most of the people around you grew up. That doesn't have to be your story. It's up to you to make it different, because now we know we have the power to change shit up. On the 8th, we have Mars moving out of Capricorn into Aquarius. Okay. And we also have this conjunction with the mood in Libra, with Jupiter in Libra. So we're going to look at more about our relationships. Again, our intuitive guidance, our partnerships that we want to come into, what is fair, what is just. We're going to be feeling it, and we're going to have more luck if we come to a good conclusion and solution with those feelings that we had. Think it through. What does the feelings mean? And if you act on it in a wise manner, then you have more blessings bestowed upon you. Wise always means following your heart, not always your mind, or what you see, or what you know. On the 9th, we have Mercury conjuncting a star in Scorpio called Aries. Okay, and we also have Mercury very close to degrees to the sun. Okay, and that means like our communication, how we're thinking, how we communicate with others, it's going to be more soul driven. Yes, you're going to feel more with your heart center when you're moving, as you communicate, as you travel, as who you talk to, who you move with. You're going to feel more. So take note of those feelings, like whether it's like you get an expanding feeling when you're speaking to someone, or when you think about somebody, or you get a restrictive feeling when you're thinking of seeing somebody. Check why, ask why. And also, the moon on this day moves out of Scorpio into Ophiuchus. And I really want to push people to really check the Ophiuchus energy and see what they feel about it. Like, really check about it. For my knowledge, Ophiuchus is all about the womb healing, okay? It's all about understanding the power in the feminine energy. Not the female, but the feminine energy. And not to say there's anything wrong with the female, because it's very active in a lot of females, I feel. But all about how we relate to the womb, whether it's the spirit realm or the womb that we came from, okay? And then how we relate to the polar opposite sex, okay, because the ficus energy deals a lot with the polar opposite sex, whether it's restrictive or very overwhelming. There's always something where the person that embodies your ficus always has some kind of energy to have to deal with that may not sit very well or be very plausible to deal with the opposite sex. Hope it makes sense. Okay. Yes, and it's there for 2 days and it moves out actually in later part of the day on the 10th. So it's there for a day really. Okay, and on the 11th, before I move on, there was another date that I wanted to check. On the 7th, the same day that we have the new moon, we have that 11/11 gateway, okay? Because the 7 plus the 11th month plus the 11th year is 29 altogether, and 2 plus 9 is the 11. And so that's another time when you can really manifest, and it's on the new moon. So even better to really check in on what you want to manifest and what you want to grow telepathically, communicatively, and in regards to relationships, partnerships. Okay. And then on the 11th of November, we have Luna conjuncting Saturn in Sagittarius. And yeah, this is all about, and Luna's in Sagittarius. And so conjunction is always when the two planets are very close. And it's like, what have you learned about stepping outside of the box? That's what you're going to be thinking about. That's the kind of questions that are going to come about. Those are the kind of emotions that are going to be. Those are the kind of things that are going to be emoted out of you. Like any situation where you felt stuck, or where you've kept yourself stuck, or you hindered yourself, or you felt a hindrance. There's going to be situations, scenarios, events surrounding that to help you check it. Okay, and then we have another peak of the Taurus meteor shower. Also on the 11th, we have Luna conjuncting M22, and that is the Messiah clusters, and that's on the 11th as well, this asteroid cluster. And then on the 14th, we have the moon far away from Earth, and it will be in Capricorn. And then on the 15th, we have Venus retrograde conjuncting Speaker, which is a constellation in Virgo, and it's a very bright one as well. At this point, it's like we're really being methodical, and all our efforts want to be acknowledged. All the things that you've done as the mother, the father, all the things that you've done as a great business person, all the things that you have done as the good child or good student, you want to be acknowledged for it, and you want to be recognized for it, basically. And remember, you have to be the one to acknowledge yourself first, and it doesn't have to mean being cocky about it or expecting other people, or just patting yourself on the back and being like, yeah, or even celebrating the fact that yeah, you did that and you did that well. You have to wait for anybody to tell you. Okay. And on the 16th, we have this conjunction of Mars and the moon in Aquarius. Because Aquarius, because Mars is freshly new in Aquarius at this point. after being in Saturn for such a time, and I'm sure very uncomfortable. It's conjuncting the moon, so that again, the moon being how we're thinking, how we're feeling, and it's like it's coming to an understanding of what it is that we need to be free, and it's gonna come to like a, or I'm gonna say to a halt, where it's gonna come to the surface. Like, what is it that I actually need to rid myself of so I can really be successful? Because that time that you was in Capricorn, you was trying to be practical about all the things that you were doing. Okay, not moving too fast with it, just taking your time of being practical about it. And now you've come to a space where like, okay, now I need to really check what I need to release. What do I need to let go of? So I can come into the success more succinctly. With that order, that methodically, excuse me, oh my God, methodically, that's what I was trying to say. Yeah. Okay, and then on the 17th, we have M45, the Pleiades cluster. I think that's the beehive one. Very close to us, so we can be, it's going to be visible. And then we have on the 18th and the 17th also the Leonids meteor shower, which is going to be in Leo. And I always say with the meteor shower, why I always say make a wish on them is because wherever the meteor shower is coming from, and the meteor showers come from the comets or the asteroids that left debris around, and they come from there. It's active every so often in the year, and wherever the constellation is coming from, I'd always say to make a wish on the energies of that, whatever energy from that constellation that you would want to admit, that you want to admit to yourself, you know? Okay. On the 21st, we have the moon or Luna away from Sol, very far from Sol, and it will be in Aries. And then on the 22nd, a star was born. But Luna is in Aries and is conjuncting M45, which is the beehive cluster. Okay, cluster of asteroids as well. Okay. And this day we have Aries on the 22nd. Aries trining Pluto in Sagittarius. And it's really us really helping us check ourselves. And it's the 22nd. It's that higher octave, higher plane kind of collective perspective for grandeur. Okay. And on a 17 vibration, which is an 8, is all about us owning our power. And it's the moon is in Aries, so it's going to be looking at self. What do we need to do to really own our power, and what do we need to transform from, and how we can expand to be our highest self again, with Pluto in Sagittarius. And this is a void, of course, so this is the last aspect that Pluto will be doing in this constellation. Okay, and then the 23rd, which is the day that also that the sun moves into Scorpio, we have the Luna, which is in Taurus at this point, because it also moved out of Aries into Taurus on the 22nd, where this star was born. Sorry, last one. And it's conjuncting Aldebaran, which is a star in Taurus constellation as well. Okay. And then on the 24th of November, we have Neptune that has been in retrograde in Aquarius, is now station direct. Okay. And Neptune again being about being Pisces ruler, and helping us create with our fantasies, can sometimes have things a bit foggy, But if we anchor it in practicality, logic, pragmatism, being pragmatic, being orderly, we get the just done, the job just done, the job well done, justly. Okay, once we understand that spirit is first and matters after, and we have to balance both so we can get the best outcome. Okay, and on 26, we have NASA planning to land on Mars to check out any insights they can get. Okay, and this is on a 3-day free vibration, and 26, which is an 8 number, but free vibration overall. Okay, and the moon in Scorpio is conjuncting Jupiter in Libra, which is important to note because that Scorpio and Libra. So because I people always seem to say that Libra is all about partnerships, relationship, but Libra does a lot of thinking about the partnerships and relationships. But it's Scorpio that really makes those moves towards those partnerships to manifest it. After that long deep dive, you know, it comes away from the heart a little, from the head a little bit more into the heart, into the depths of things, and then comes up and be like, okay, yeah. And the Sagittarius goes for it. Okay. Take time to realize what it is that you want, how you want to manifest. Yes, but also how you're going to manifest it. Then we have on the 27th, Mercury in inferior is very close to Sol because the Libra constellation is actually very small, and Mercury went into Scorpio on the 30th of October, so it wasn't too long ago. And so it's Mercury and Sol are very close in proximity at this time. And it's going to help us really communicate our soul's truth, our soul's knowing, rather than just going with the mundane. And this is on a foundational day. It's on a 22 vibration, and that's all about expanding. And it's on November the 27th, so that's a 9 vibration too. All right. So actually, Luna is conjunct the M44, which is the Beehive cluster, a cluster of asteroids. Okay, that is in the Cancer constellation. So they've been in the Cancer constellation. You wanna look at what you need to nurture, and again, it's nurturing our soul's truth. This is all on the 27th as well. Nurturing our soul's truth, because our soul's truth is all and all that we really need to check for, and that helps us just live a more happier life. That helps us again thrive, not just survive. Okay, on the 29th again, like I said, we have, like we had on the second day of the month, we have on the second to last day of the month, Luna conjuncting the star in Leo called Regulus. Okay, and it's all about our hearts knowing our soul's truth. Okay, check what was unearthed on the second, and then check at the end of the day or the next day what is unearthed on the 29th. See if there's any correlations, and if you checked whatever was unearthed on the second, if you liked it, you didn't like it, make it better, make it work even more so. However, by the time you get to the 29th, let it flow though, and then check what you need to do thereafter. So leave the month on the 7th vibration. Okay, so create more time to do the inner work, because the inner work has to come first, and then the outer work is much easier. And also on this day, Mercury leaves Scorpio. Okay, excuse me. Mercury leaves Scorpio, and his Mercury is actually retrograde on the 17th. And I forgot to note that on the 17th, we also have Venus. Yeah, Venus goes station direct. My bad. And that's an 11 vibration as well. On November the 16th, even, is another 11 vibration, and that's when Venus goes direct. And it's also the day that Mercury goes retrograde. How can I forget to mention that? I'm so sorry. I was looking at it for a minute. I was like, hold up a minute. Mercury's going where now? Going back to Jupiter, to Libra? How so? And I realized, yes, because it's retrograde. And I didn't mention it. So on the 16th of November, we have Venus going station direct. Okay, in Virgo there. Going back to Virgo. And you know, Virgo takes like 50 days. Say 50 days, 50 degrees of the solar ecliptic journey. You know, so it's a long constellation is what I'm saying. It's the longest constellation even. And on the same day, we have Mercury going retrograde in Scorpio. So getting more time to think about until the 30th of November. Give more time to think about those deep-seated feelings that you have, why you have them, you know. Remember, we had a lot of conjunctions with Pluto this month as well, really needing to do that deep transformative work. And then we go into Scorpio season after the 23rd, isn't it? So more time to really check what it is that we need to look at so we can best move forward. Okay, so for the spread that we have today, little mini spread that we have here monthly, and to check firstly the collective current major arcana state, then we have destiny, which is the wheel of fortune. Okay, and remember, the wheel of fortune can either go in your favor or not. And the 10 is all about completion. So the ending of things, ending of cycles, beginning new ones. Okay, the understanding of the duality of life, the yin and the yang, the black and the white, the feminine and the masculine. You want to say good or the bad, whatever, however, the spirit, the matter. Something has to come from something to make something. Okay, and this integration brings a oneness, breeds a oneness. Okay, and then brings in the oneness. We have that balance of the duality, the feminine energy and the masculine energy. Divine communes with you more readily. So current phase that we're on, we're using the messages from the angels by adoring virtue this year. And the current message, or the current phase that we're at right now, scratching my hair. We have, you are protected from all types of harm. The worst is now behind you. I ask you to relax and feel safe. Like, this card reminds me of that. Don't worry about what it was yesteryear. We are in new times now. We don't have to suffer the same stuff that we did before. We now know better. We can recreate better. Okay? And current phase that we're at right now. No, that was the current phase that we're at right now. And then we have new romance is imminent. Chantal, new romance is imminent, either with a newcomer or through reignited passion in your existing relationships. Be open to giving and receiving love. Okay. This is the current phase. I can't remember which order I had this in. Sorry. And it's not even that I can't remember. It's like, okay, this is a message for current stage. Advice. And then the next one's moving forward. Forgive me for that. Okay, so new romance is imminent, either with a newcomer or through reignited passion in your existing relationship. Be open to giving and receiving love. Okay. Yes, definitely in this 11th vibration is all about partnerships. And if it's loving relationships you're looking, then it can come, and it's imminent. It's right around the corner. Be open to it. Don't shy away from it. Don't hide away from it. But be prepared for it at the same time, as in prepare yourself. Make sure you're giving yourself all that you need, so you don't have to like beg for it from anybody else. Okay, and it's not a bad thing, like, and I say it like that because it took me a while to learn what that means. And it's not as harsh as it sounds. It's like it's really important for you to be able to fulfill yourself, so you can really fulfill another in a relationship. Because if you are expecting somebody to fulfill you and not knowing how to do that for yourself, you're going to be more of a hindrance than anything in the relationship. Okay. And again, we all go through different phases and stages, and going through that hermit stage is really important to be able to take time with yourself and to understand what your magic really entails, so you can work it. Okay, advice moving forward. We have one and says you have a special bond with animals. Your pets on earth and in heaven are watched over by angels. And yeah, I've been getting this message recently that we are there's divinity in animals. Like I've been passing a few, like even just the domesticated animals, like they have souls, and talking to them is really, it's like you talking to your other selves. Okay, and animals that you see on a regular basis, they're definitely part of yourselves. Okay, and definitely look up the animal totems, what the animals that you see regularly, what do they represent? Because they all represent something, and it usually has some kind of significance to your own character or your own life path, your own energy. Okay, and underneath the deck for the major arcana we have destiny. We had destiny, and which is the wheel of fortune. Don't allow temptation to pull you off your destiny. Okay, because then you get fated events that's not really for your highest good, because of temptation, because of materialistic addictions, feelings, thoughts, however, whatever. Rise up in that, work on it, release yourself from addictions, people, situation, things, whatever it is, work on it. And then for the angels, underneath the deck we have Rochelle, and it says, as you honor and follow the guidance of your heart, prosperity is coming to you now. Yes, definitely. Like listening to your hearts, knowing your truth, your soul's knowing, like abundance is yours. Everything that you ever really wish for will be yours. You got each to work on, but each one teach one, each one inspires one, each one does for another, knowingly or unknowingly. So do your work so we can all be groovy. Okay. Much love, full joy this month, and have a party for me, okay? Full joy. Peace. Please like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff so we can get the message coming out. And I'll be more moved and propelled to get these out more on time, because I have other things I need to do too. Like, want to get a few views. Not that I don't care about those few views, because it makes a difference. And as long as I'm inspiring one person, I know I'm doing my work. So thank you. I appreciate for you coming through. And yeah, full joy of the month. And hey, yeah, for real, have a party for me, yes?